Hello, it is Alice, and this is my channel, The Witch in the Glen. Thank you for joining. These readings are timeless, and we are talking about energy here, and anytime we are talking about the divine masculine or the divine feminine, we are talking about energy, polarity, and so you can swap it for poles of a magnet. It is literally the same thing, and I do know what the word literally means. Yeah. So I am being guided to share that you may too need to reevaluate some of the energetic chords in your life and make sure that you are not leaking. Find the places where you're leaking energy, because it's sort of gotten to that time in the calendar year where people start sort of getting sloppy about how much they're taking advantage of you, and you see it all around the corners at the edges of this holiday, as it were. So be mindful of your energetic cords, be mindful of the places where you are leaking energy. I took some time today to try to dispose of any like phony book that I could find in my house. I'm like, especially in all my like esoteric kind of collection, which is like everything. There are a lot of books in there that are just like people who are not informed by the highest light, is how I'm being guided to say it. And so I filled a huge box full of like sort of phony books that I guess I'm gonna donate. Like, I don't know, it's kind of weird when you but yeah, I'm gonna donate them, and hopefully somebody else can analyze them and make better use of them than I. And there is a time and a place for everything, but I'm sort of noticing. I was reading a book earlier today that really got me kind of triggered, and it was a book about tarot, and the way that the author was talking about it just gave away that she didn't really understand what energy truly is, and how the tarot is a representative medium to be able to talk about how energy works. And you know, you kind of give yourself away when you're saying that the Fool is this energy that splits apart and then it goes away. Like, the Fool is always there. It's the 0 point energy. It's there for every, you know, it's like the field where everything manifests, from which everything manifests. That's the Fool. And you know, I'm also people just get too precious about their tools or things like that, and that's when you're really seeing like the bastardization of true channeled wisdom. It's like people who get way too into and trying to delineate like the meanings of the cards, but in this way that just sort of forgets, and it's like belies the fact that the person who's interpreting it really doesn't understand how energy works. There's a difference between people who read and people who read. There are many readers out there who look at the cards only as like linear symbols of certain things, and they memorize books, they memorize themes, but there is no actual underlying comprehension. And there are a lot of, people are able to memorize and find great command of subjects like this, especially if you're operating from the lower reptilian part of the mind. That part is like very good at like doing stuff like memorizing symbols. If you are truly reading from the highest light, it doesn't, you don't ever have to have memorized anything, because the understanding is there implicitly. Like this is this concept of like overstanding, where it's just like once you understand how energy works, you might turn to something like tarot, and it then becomes a very fun way to play with the concepts of the dimensions and things like that in an artistic, literary way that's just like fun. But it doesn't, the cards are not, they're not I keep saying to people recently, as I do a lot of reading, I actually do a lot of reading in the regular 3D sort of world, and I don't remember what I was going to say. I was just having a lot of thoughts today about gnosis. I was thinking about how frustrating it is to me, and makes me have this like righteous rage that people go around talking about like, it's like there were certain people who have collectively become they're referred to as the Gnostics, but what it really means is that it's just multiple people who communicated directly with God. Like that's what gnosis is. It's not its own religious sect, and it's certainly not any kind of message. Gnosis is not a perspective. Gnosis is a state of consciousness. Gnosticism is not a thing. It's like you can use it. It's just but I think it gets misconstrued, and I think I was kind of all relates, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to like pull the dot or connect the dots for you right now. So anyway, we have done a lot of cleaning up of phony stuff around here, and I invite you to go and do likewise. Root out your phony interloper, books that you don't really jibe with. Give them away. Death. Queen of Wands. This is you, like, magically using your sense of intuition and your creativity to look around at your space and be able to look at it in a different way and transmute the energy that's there into something else. Recognize where the energy is being used and recognize where the energy is stagnant and where the energy is creating, where there's like an energy suck. Like, she is able to recognize those things. So for example, to be in Queen of Wands mode, you might analyze the energy of your room and your space and recognize where you can transform some of the things that you have around into other things, transform the energy, move the energy around. The Queen of Wands does that, and she is here inviting in death for all interlopers to your space, interlopers to your energetic space. And you're doing this by the Queen of Wands, which I really love. Because she uses creativity and confidence and magic to alchemize what she wants. And she's very good at that. And so here she is using these skills to recognize the energetic motivations of people who come into her life, people who pass through her energetic sphere. She's getting in touch with, and you might be, but this Queen of Wands is getting in touch with the energetic bodies of others and relating to them on those levels where you can't perceive with the eyes, but that's where the Queen of Wands operates, is sort of in the ether. We have the Ace of Pentacles coming out. So let's see. We have the King of Wands in reverse, along with the Nine of Cups also in reverse. So there's something happening over here with this, with a King of Wands. Let's see. I'm just not even sure that we need to be reading on this energy right now, because this keeps coming through, and I think it's just a little, I don't know, just sort of takes over. These energy streams tend to take over, and they're persistent. This is like, we're getting like King of Wands in reverse. I said Nine of Cups in reverse. It's just like somebody who is feeling out of control of their life, feeling out of control over the relationships in his life, feeling like everything has been like dumped out on the floor. And it's like he obstinately is like going to sit there and pretend like he doesn't notice this happening, just as a defense mechanism. It's like this defense mechanism of like, I'm just gonna look straight ahead and sit here with my arms crossed and just ignore the fact that all of my manifestations in my relationships are leaking energy. I don't mean to be dismissive, but it just feels like this is Palo Santo and Dragon's Blood. It's my favorite. It's like this moment the Divine Feminine continues to be in this seat of wielding her magical abilities, her wit, but over here we have this masculine counterpart who is not meeting this same energy. It's like continues to be that the Divine Feminine over here is like showing up like as a Queen of Wands, for example. And here she's like bringing death with her. So she is really making some tough cuts and sitting in her power. And but then over here we still have these masculines who are really feel that they're feeling powerless. It's like that feeling of powerlessness is like compounded, and then that becomes like this paralyzing thing, and like leaking emotional energy everywhere. It's like your manifestations are not coming in because you are so upended with your energetic connections, especially those to do with emotion. Lovers in reverse. It's like this is so topsy-turvy. It's like they're coming out as the King and Queen of Wands. It's like they're just kind of mirrored in this warped way. It's like inverted on the masculine side, and over here we are having like the major arcana, the Lovers in reverse. We have the Magician in reverse. We have Six of Cups in reverse. This is the Alchemist, the Divine Masculine Alchemist. Here he is not in touch with the divine. He's like, this is just a huge issue with like manifesting. It's like none of his manifestations are coming in. He cannot realize anything.
What?
Nothing that he is thinking of or dreaming of, none of it is coming to pass, and he continues to leak energy. Hey. It's awfully interesting because it reads two ways. There's also the other way of like, it's okay. Hey, it's okay. Like this could be the false divine masculine. This could be a false person's energy who's just like keeps coming in here. The Magician in reverse. King of Wands in reverse. The Six of Cups in reverse. This is like somebody's childhood dream. Turned upside down or spilled. Two of Swords. Eight of Swords in reverse. Ten of Cups in reverse. This is like choosing between, hey, sweetie. Okay. This is like choosing between this darker path. What is going on? Let me check what's going on. Hey, B. This is like a decision between, it's like this is happening over here, or this is like his decision between like which of these realities he's going to live in. But I'm seeing here, it's like this is sort of this rock and hard place is like how this is coming out. So it's like, don't even, I don't know. There's a lot of betrayal here. And is it this masculine to her? There's like major betrayal, confusion about that betrayal. This is like the childhood broken heart. 10 of Cups in reverse. It's like the happily ever after that never happened. None of this turns out to be as bad as it seems, though. It's like, amid all of this, it's like these are going to be demons that will be overcome in your story. This will be overcome, this betrayal. All these forces that are keeping you from your personal alignment, because that's what the Lovers really is. It's about like the balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine within oneself. And here we have it also then representing the two incarnate embodiment of those two polarities, and they form this like perfect couple. High Priestess. This is like you have to go into your personal space and connect gnostically with God, connect directly with the quantum field, create space for this, cleanse the energy of your home, cleanse the energy around you, remove all satanic books, artifacts, things like that from your environment. Disconnect from, as always, disconnect from the news, disconnect from social media. Disconnect. If you disconnect from all that stuff, that's where source energy surges in those places where you are otherwise leaking energy to social media, leaking your energy to people who try to get you riled up about things and Four of Wands in reverse. And the Empress. It's like these are major and deep storylines that you've been through, like karmic cycles that really make you an old soul within this lifetime. We have the trifecta of, here we have the Queen of Wands, and we have the High Priestess and the Empress. And this is really where you're going to be deriving your power. I'm going to end the reading here. I just don't necessarily want to keep going with it. Okay, thanks.